Good morning. Great questions coming in. You are watching News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Matthew Torres with Josh Horn today to talk about Social Security. A lot of questions. So if you have one that you want to ask, 615-737-PLUS. Let's get back to the lines. We have Eunice. Eunice, good morning. What's your question?
Yes, I have a question about enrolling in Social Security. Is it mandatory that you sign up, enroll, or apply for Social Security once you turn 65?
At age 65, we typically want you to sign up for Medicare, at least Medicare Part A, because it's free and you can go ahead and get that benefit started. But we actually have a lot of folks who wait and draw their Social Security benefits later and later, because you can draw your full retirement age is actually about 66. It's actually transitioning even further up to age 67 right now. So for me and for you, our full retirement age is 67. The folks who are retiring this year is age 66 is their full retirement age, where they can get what they consider their full benefit amount. But you can actually earn delayed retirement credits up until as much as age 70. And so now after age 70, you don't get any more money. So if you're age 70 and you haven't applied for benefits yet, please go ahead and do that, because you've maxed out even with those delayed retirement credits. And more Americans are choosing to work later because we're living longer and we're healthier overall. And so we can, so when you keep working, you may want to delay those retirement credits.
Well, it brings up the question, to claim the benefits early on or later. I guess it all, like you said, depends.
Yeah, and that's kind of the million-dollar question a lot of times with folks is, do I want to draw my benefits early, which you can do it as early as age 62, or do I want to wait till my full retirement age at 66 or 67, or do I want to earn delayed retirement credits? And the simplest answer is, how long do you expect to live? You know, if you have a long history, a family history of longevity, and you're healthy, and you expect to live into your 90s, you might want to delay those benefits, because over the long haul you'll get more benefits. But if you're age 62, your health is not good, or maybe your family history is not to where they live that long, you want to go ahead and get those benefits now. You know, every individual's situation is a little bit different, and it used to be where Social Security would actually advise you one way or the other, and anymore we really try to stay away from any kind of advisement, because everybody's situation is a little bit different. You may need that money now, or you may want to wait and draw it a little bit later. All
right, let's go back to the lines. Angela, good morning. Thanks for holding. What's your question?
Hi, good morning. I actually have two questions. My husband is getting Social Security disability. He was in the military. He'll be 62 in December. Will he automatically be switched over to Social Security, and will he pull the same amount?
And what's your other question?
Will he pull the same amount? I kind of combined them.
Got it.
So, but you said he's drawing Social Security disability right now? I think she said that he was already drawing Social Security disability, and that's a good question. Basically what happens is you continue drawing Social Security disability until your full retirement age, which for him is probably 66, or maybe somewhere between 66 and 67. And so at that point, you transition, you switch over automatically from disability to retirement. But it's real seamless for you, because the benefit amount doesn't change. The only real difference is you no longer get those periodic medical reviews, because every 3, 5, or 7 years we're going to be reviewing your record to make sure you're still disabled. After you become your full retirement age, you switch over to retirement benefits, and you don't get reviewed anymore.
All right, TC, I think TC's on the line. What's your question?
Yes, I'm a veteran, and I've been receiving all my my help from the VA, and I'm going to be turning 65. And am I going to be automatically enrolled in the Social Security program, or what's the deal?
No, you won't be automatically enrolled in the Social Security monthly benefits at all. You have to apply for those benefits. Now, if you're already drawing Social Security, either disability or the retirement benefits, you will be automatically enrolled in Medicare, and you can choose whether to keep the Medicare Part B or send it back, depending on your circumstances. But as far as the monthly benefits, you're not automatically enrolled in that.
All right, Robert. Thanks for calling. Robert, what's your question? Good morning, Robert. You there? All right. Maybe not. All right, we'll go to Wayne. Hey, Wayne, what's your question?
Yeah, good morning. My question is, I'm currently on Social Security SSI, and I just turned 62 this year. Now, I haven't worked in over 20 years because I do have a disability. But when I checked over 20 years ago, my Social Security, I would only draw $300-something a month. My question is this. I'm on SSI. At age 62, can I switch over to Social Security, regular Social Security, and is there a minimum monthly payment that's more than SSI? In other words, what should I do?
Are you drawing Social Security disability also, or just SSI?
Just SSI.
Okay. Well, SSI does require you to apply for any other kind of benefits that you would be eligible for. So if somebody's eligible for some kind of short-term, long-term disability or VA benefits or anything like that, railroad benefits, the SSI program requires you to file for any of those, because SSI is a needs-based program, you know, based on that poverty level. And so if you are insured for retirement benefits, then at age 62 you would be required to file for those benefits. So that's a good question.
That is a good question. All right, let's get to line 2. Hey, caller, what is your name and what is your question?
You're talking to Mike Lewis, North.
Hey, what is your question?
I'll draw SSI.
About SSI? What about it?
I said I like 2 points having enough to get my interns, you know, what do you call that? Care. I mean, not care, but Medicare. They said I like 2 points. Well, they give it to me, the 2 points. And when they give raises this year, it really hurt me. I wish they'd quit giving them little $10 and $15 raises, because I was drawing $150 worth of food stamps, and then knocked them down to $47, and then my copay on my medicine, it tripled. And then everything went up. So they call that helping you, giving that $10 or $15. It hurt me.
No.
I got to count my money and my budget, trying to make a budget, and I ran out of money before I got through with the budget.
So it's having a little trouble
making
it out, but I believe what he was saying was that the cost of living adjustment that we have every year bumped him up just over what some of the limitations are with, it sounded like the TennCare or some of the state programs that he may have been eligible for. And unfortunately, you know, Social Security is a national program, and we make those cost of living adjustment increases every year based on the change in poverty level and the cost of living decisions that the Congress makes usually in November every year. And so we get a $10 or $15 bump in the Social Security benefits most years, and in fact not every year, but most years we get a little bit of that increase in December. And it sounds like, unfortunately, that affected some of the other programs through the state or local government that the caller was eligible for. And I really don't have a good answer on that. It's just kind of an unfortunate circumstance. I do recommend you contact the state or whatever program was administering those, because a lot of times you may come off, but then if you call and talk to them, they may have an appeal process, they may have some other program that you can come on. I do recommend you call and talk to them. Don't just kind of accept it and move on. Just call and make sure you're clear on it.
Well, that brings up to me the just financial limitations. So, you know, how much do you need to make in order to qualify?
In order to qualify for Social Security. Yeah. So with Social Security, it's all based on quarters of coverage, and that gets kind of technical, but basically a quarter of coverage is, this year, I was going to try to look at my cheat sheet here, it's $1,320. So, and you can earn up to 4 quarters of coverage in a year, which 4 quarters, if you do that math, is about $5,000, a little over $5,000. So if you make at least $5,500 in a year, that counts towards to build up your Social Security, or at least qualify for Social Security. And you have to have 10 years of coverage in order to apply for retirement benefits, for example. And Now you're just going to draw a little bit if all you're making is $5,500, $6,000. But if you do that at least 10 years, you'll at least get something from Social Security. Now, Social Security is based on your whole lifetime worth of earnings. So they take the highest 35 years of your income, and that's what they use to do the math to see how much benefits you're going to draw as far as Social Security.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the lines. Effie, good morning. Love the name. What's your question?
Yeah. I'm looking at my but my tax statements, and last year in December it's showing the same thing as it did this year in January, and I don't see an increase in the cost of living, the same as it was last year.
Yeah, and so what's happened with a lot of folks, and I'd have to look at your specific record to know for sure, but for most folks that we've been talking to lately, for a few years we had either no cost of living or we just had a very small amount of a cost of living, and the Medicare amount actually went up more than the cost of living. But we have a protection to where your benefits will never go down because of the Medicare increases. So if the Medicare went up by $20, but you only got a $10 cost of living increase, there's that $10 that we've just kind of forgiven or not looked at. But now that now that things are kind of catching up, we're actually getting more cost of living. That $10 is still out there, and so your $10 again may have been sucked up, or your cost of living rather may have been taken up by that $10 that's still out there. Because this year the Medicare premiums are $134 every month, and so that I know that's a little bit technical, but that's kind of what happens is that they try to get that money back. Your benefits will never go down, but they may not go up either, while we try to recover those Medicare premiums. Good
question. If you have any other questions, 615-737-PLUS. We have about 20 minutes left in the program, so if you do want to call, make sure you do it now. I will have more Morning Line after the break.